Have you ever caught a scent in the air that made your spirit flinch? A perfume that no one is wearing, a trace of smoke when nothing is burning, a sourness that seems to crawl through your walls. We brush it off. We light a candle. We open a window. We say, "That's odd," and we move on. But what if the scent didn't come from this world? In the unseen realm, nothing is random. Everything, yes, everything, carries meaning, sound, sight, and yes, even smell. And scent, it's one of the oldest languages in the spirit world. Not just a warning, but a whisper, a trail. Do this. That's why they burned incense during offerings, why they anointed temples with oil, why they wrapped bodies in spices before burial. Because in the spiritual world, fragrance carries presence. And sometimes, what you smell is what's standing right behind you. Modern witchcraft doesn't always chant loudly or dance by moonlight. It speaks softly. It operates silently. And sometimes, it smells like something sweet or something rotting. The enemy doesn't just attack your mind, he infiltrates your atmosphere. And when your discernment is dull, your nose may pick up what your soul can't yet name. So today, we expose it. 7 smells, each one tied to a very specific kind of witchcraft, each one used for very specific reasons. And if they show up in your home, your workplace, or your dreams, you'll know why. Because once you learn the language of scent, you'll never dismiss that odd smell again. Before we begin, write in the comments, 444, I stand guarded. It's our line of light in a world full of shadows. Let's begin. It hits you. That unmistakable smell. Sulfur, sharp, metallic, like rotting eggs, cooked in steel. Most people laugh it off. It's probably the pipes, they say, or the sewer, or the basement. But beneath that excuse, something ancient watches. Because sulfur is not just a bad smell, it's a spiritual fingerprint. Across cultures and centuries, this stench has always meant one thing. The enemy was here. Old texts call it the breath of the pit. Priests called it brimstone. Even in scripture, sulfur is tied to places of judgment and beings who rebelled against the light. In certain occult rituals, sulfur is used to attract demonic entities, not just symbolically, literally. It's burned in dishes, mixed with hair, carried in pouches under clothes, all to create an environment hostile to God's presence and inviting to everything else. C.S. Lewis once suggested, the enemy is most dangerous not when he is obvious, but when he comes hidden in patterns we ignore. The smell of sulfur is one of those patterns. You won't see a demon walk into your living room, but when your hallway suddenly reeks of burning rot with no cause, that's not fiction, it's your first alarm. In spiritual warfare, some things don't knock, they seep, they surround, they signal. And sulfur, it signals something territorial. It means, I've claimed this ground, and if you don't respond, you've silently agreed. That's how darkness works. It doesn't need your permission, just your silence. If you've smelled sulfur, pray, anoint your walls, speak life out loud, and do not tolerate the odor in your spirit or your space, because sulfur is the scent of surrender, not yours, but what's trying to take yours. You walk into a room, and there it is, that soft, waxy scent. the subtle perfume of melted wax and flickering warmth. But there are no candles burning, no incense, no matches, no reason. And yet, the fragrance clings to the air, uninvited, lingering. Most people smile and say, "Oh, that's lovely," but in the spiritual realm, it isn't. Because candles are tools in the hands of the practiced, not for lighting, but for binding. Witches and spiritual manipulators have long used candle magic, not just to illuminate, but to infiltrate. Each scent, each flame, each color, chosen with precision, carved with names, anointed with oils, and burned with purpose. When someone lights a candle in your name, they're not just lighting wax, they're igniting intention. They could be asking for your loyalty, or your confusion, or your silence. And when you smell that candle, when you inhale it with no visible source, it may not be coming from your room, it may be coming from their altar, in many forms of folk sorcery. Candle rituals are paired with personal objects, hair strands, photos, items from your home, all used to tie your spirit to theirs. That phantom scent, it's not memory, it's an active spiritual signal, like a GPS beacon in your atmosphere, a sign that something is working behind the veil. And the worst part? Most victims welcome it. They say, "Oh, it smells peaceful." But peace isn't always pure. Sometimes it's paralysis. C.S. Lewis said, "The enemy doesn't want you to hate God. He just wants you to sleep through the battle." That warm candle scent may feel safe, but when it has no cause, no wick, no light, it's time to ask, who lit this flame? And what were they speaking when it burned? You are not a candle to be burned. You are not wax to be molded. You are not scent to be claimed. If the enemy is lighting candles on your behalf, it's time to blow them out, in the name of the one who is the light. The smell hits first, thick, sour, like spoiled meat left too long in the sun. You search your kitchen, you check the garbage, nothing. Yet the scent of rot, of decay, remains. And with it comes something else, a feeling, a heaviness in the chest, a chill in the soul, a strange silence that feels watched. This is not random. This is not poor housekeeping. This is spiritual decomposition. In ancient belief systems, rot was more than death. It was spiritual erasure, a sign that something once living was not just gone, but corrupted. Witches tied to grave rituals often use bones, decaying herbs, and soil from unmarked graves to represent spiritual death assignments. They didn't need to harm your body. They only needed to bury you symbolically. And the smell? That's your only warning. C.S. Lewis observed, that spiritual decay begins not with evil acts, but with neglected choices, ignored convictions, disguised compromise. And in the world of unseen warfare, rot is not passive, it's planted. Practitioners sometimes bury items, pieces of clothing, notes, jewelry, connected to you. They speak over them, they cover them in earth, and they wait. These decay rituals are meant to reverse growth, to hollow you out from the inside, to cause confusion, delay, depression. You're not being harmed physically, but your momentum, joy, and purpose are withering. If you've smelled rot with no source, ask, has my energy shifted? Are my prayers harder to speak? Do I feel like I'm being slowly drained? The smell isn't just a warning. It's a signal of something already in motion. Because decay attracts what feeds on it. And the longer it lingers, the more ground it claims. That sour air in your home might be more than a nuisance. It might be a spiritual nesting ground. Don't spray air freshener, speak scripture, don't open a window, close the breach. You weren't created to rot in silence. You were made to rise, and the God who raises the dead can cleanse what others have buried. It's faint at first, just a whisper in the air, a smoky tinge, like fabric caught on fire, or worse, burnt hair. You rush to check the stove, the outlets, the attic. Nothing's burning, but the smell is still there, hanging like an echo. And deep down, you know this is not a natural fire. It's a ritual fire. In the world of witchcraft, burning is a powerful weapon, but it's not about heat. It's about identity. Witches across centuries have used effigies, dolls made in your likeness, stuffed with your hair, your photo, your handwriting, then set aflame. This is not folklore. This is targeted destruction. In these ceremonies, the practitioner doesn't just burn the doll. They speak your name. They assign ruin. They declare, let their protection burn. Let their confidence turn to ash. And when you smell burning with no source, you're not inhaling smoke. You're sensing a signal. In the unseen realm, your spirit often picks up what your mind can't process. C.S. Lewis wrote, "That imitation is one of the enemy's cruelest strategies. He doesn't always remove your identity. He corrupts it, twists it, rebrands it in flame. A burnt offering like this isn't just an attack on your body. It's a strike against your purpose. You may feel sudden confusion about your calling, disconnection from people you once trusted, dreams of fire, of loss, of being watched while you sleep, and still, no visible reason. That's because the ritual was done elsewhere, but its effects arrive here. That phantom burning smell, it's not smoke, it's a spiritual residue. What they tried to burn is still echoing, because the fire was meant to reach you. But here's the truth. No flame, no spell, no doll can override the one who called you by name. The fire that was meant to erase you can become the spark that reawakens you. If you smell burning, don't panic. Pray with fire. There's a bite in the air, not just sharp, acidic, like vinegar poured down your throat. It stings your nose, makes your eyes water. But when you search your kitchen, there's nothing open. No spilled bottle, no cleaning agent, no explanation. Except this: someone is working a sour jar ritual against you. These are not pantry jars, they're spiritual weapons. Handcrafted containers filled with vinegar, personal items, and spoken curses, designed not to harm your body, but to corrode your blessings. Take something sweet, expose it to acid, watch it turn bitter. That's the logic behind the ritual. They speak over the jar. Let their joy sour. Let their love curdle. Let every open door collapse inward. They seal it, hide it in dark places, and wait. As that vinegar stirs, your atmosphere begins to shift. Arguments out of nowhere, miscommunications in your relationships, deals collapsing at the last moment. A string of bad luck that feels targeted. You begin to wonder, is it me? No, it's not psychological. It's ritual sabotage. C.S. Lewis once warned, evil doesn't always attack with force. It turns good things sour. Faith into cynicism. Hope into resentment. Love into suspicion. That's the heart of the sour jar. Not to destroy you outright, but to invert everything around you. And the smell? That sharp, sudden vinegar scent? It's your first alert, like smoke before a fire. You don't see it yet, but the damage is already dripping. So if you've smelled vinegar with no source, clean your home, yes. But more importantly, cleanse your atmosphere. Speak over your rooms. Break every unseen agreement. Pray with clarity. Reclaim sweetness. Restore joy. Because what was turned bitter can be reversed, but only if you recognize it in time. It's the most disgusting thing. That sharp, invasive stench. Like animal waste, fresh and foul. Especially from dogs or cats. And yet, you don't have pets. You haven't stepped outside. You've cleaned every corner. Still, it lingers. It follows you. It shows up in places that should feel safe. Your room, your office, your altar. This is more than a smell. It's a spiritual insult. In the darkest corners of witchcraft, there's a brutal practice, claiming by filth. Practitioners take bodily waste, feces, urine, bile, and mix it with your name, your photo, even soil from your footprint. They seal it, they curse it, they bury it. Not to warn you, to own you. The purpose? To spiritually reduce you to waste, to attach shame to your name, to tell the unseen. This one is marked, claimed, controlled. This stench is not symbolic, it's summoned. C.S. Lewis once said, "Evil delights in inversion." What was meant to be sacred is twisted into disgust. And this ritual proves it. You feel your progress stall. Opportunities slip away. You feel dirty, not physically, but spiritually. No matter how much you clean your space, your spirit feels soiled, and the enemy wants it that way. Because when you feel stained, you hesitate to pray, you stop believing you're worthy, you forget God still sees you as clean. But here's the truth, you don't have to wear the stench of someone else's spell. What was done in secret, what was smeared and sealed, can be broken with a whisper. Lord, cleanse what they tried to mark. The stench is real, but so is your authority. You are not defined by what surrounds you. You are defined by what covers you. And when heaven covers you, hell's filth loses its grip. It starts beautifully. A sweet scent, a floral trace in the air, elegant, nostalgic, strange, almost comforting. But no one's wearing perfume. No windows are open. No one has entered or left. The scent just appeared. And here's the problem. That fragrance may not be from heaven. It may be from someone who wants to own your soul. This is the world of love binding. In witchcraft, binding spells are crafted to entangle, not to hurt, but to hook. The scent is bait. Practitioners use oils, herbs, and enchanted perfumes. They mix hair, photos, letters. Then they name you. They whisper intentions into every drop. Let their heart be mine. Let their thoughts be tied to me. Let them desire no other. And what happens? You start thinking about someone. You shouldn't. You feel emotions that don't match your logic. You dream dreams that don't belong to you. That fragrance, soft, elegant, is not love. It's leverage. The enemy doesn't always push you into lust. Sometimes he lures you into attachment, to someone who isn't safe, to a soul tie you never asked for. And the scent? It's the calling card, the trigger, the invisible rope. If you've smelled perfume or cologne that isn't yours, if your affections feel fogged, if you're drawn to someone like a string is pulling, you're not imagining it. You're being targeted. This is not romance. This is ritual. And the good news? What was bound by darkness can be unbound by light. Say it out loud. I sever every chain made without my consent. I belong to no altar but God's. Because you were never meant to be loved through enchantment. You were meant to be chosen in truth. Strange smells aren't always random. Sometimes they're warnings. Sulfur, burning, perfume, vinegar. Each one says something's moving beneath the surface. The enemy won't always speak. Sometimes he smells. But now you're aware. You can spot the sign. You can shut the door. Because what's been sent to invade can be sent back. Pray, cleanse, discern. And if something smells off, don't ignore it. Answer it. Comment below, I choose discernment.